Hello, everybody, and welcome to the monthly Oracle Wisdom for May 2025. My name is Natalie Sadie, and we are going to have a look at what the Oracle cards have to tell us for the month ahead. Now, with the weeklies, I do a general reading for the collective. This one we do a little bit differently. We do pick a pile if this is your first time joining us. So I've got 3 crystals on the different piles of cards that have been dealt, and I can't see the cards. I don't see them until I'm actually doing the reading, but I'm going to show you the crystals, and you can pick whichever pile or piles resonate with you the most. There may be one crystal that stands out and you're like, oh, that's the pile for me. Maybe there's 2 of them, maybe it's all of them. So maybe there's a message in each of these readings for you. So pile number 1, we have the red tiger's eye. Pile number 2, we have the Tibetan Tektite. And pile number 3, we have the clear quartz. So take a moment, just be still for a second, pause the video if you need a little longer, and think about which of those crystals stood out to you the most, crystal or crystals, and we will get started with pile number 1. So for those of you that picked pile number 1, which was the red tiger's eye, we are going to get started, and we're starting with the Future Higher Self Oracle. We'll have a look at all of these. You're on a journey of discovering your life's purpose. The sacrifices you make today will be worth it. Balance all dimensions of your life. You're stepping into a brand new chapter. There's still time to change the road you're on. It's never too late. So I think first of all, the energies that we've had throughout April have been incredibly intense, and one of the biggest, well, there's been a few things that have been going on. One, we've had so many planets, everything moving direct, and so many planets happening in Aries. We've had a stellium in there. We've had Venus, and is Mars in there? Oh, my mind's going blank. But we've had Mercury, we've had the Sun, we've had all these planets moving through, Neptune, Saturn, all of them moving through Aries. So it's a lot. So we've been contending with all of that fire energy, and on Saturday we had Uranus move into Gemini, and it is not going to retrograde back into Taurus. So we have this brand new energy, and with Uranus moving, it brings up a whole lot of changes and shifts that we weren't expecting. And with it moving sign, we now have to adjust to this energy that we're going to be experiencing for the next 7 years. And so I think everybody's kind of sitting at a moment where we almost feel hungover from the intensity of what we've been feeling. And I think part of this for you is that you're in this world of figuring out exactly what it is you're meant to be doing here. And with that comes a lot of questions, and often a lot of fear, because the question becomes, can I actually do this? What if I give up everything that I know and everything that's comfortable for me right now? And then what if I screw it up? The question is, what if you don't? And then the very next card out is the sacrifices you make today will be worth it. And this is the whole thing. When we're chasing our dreams, often we have to make sacrifices, and they can be incredibly confronting. They can be incredibly daunting. And if we're chasing these things at a moment in time where we have life pretty well figured out, we've got a job that pays us well or well enough that we're comfortable and we have everything that we need. And then we sit there and go, right, am I going to sacrifice that security to go after what it is that feeds my soul? And this is where you have to make your decision as to what is more important to you. I've always been someone that has bucked the trend of doing a normal 9 to 5. I've always had side jobs because when you work in entertainment, you always need to. But I lived with the instability of finances because everything in that world moves in cycles. So in Australia, January was always dead for me. There would be a couple of things I would do, but not much. February, sometimes things would start picking up. And then from March through to June, it would get crazy busy. Then July, because that's tax season in Australia, everything would die again. And so I had to learn how to plan my finances and be able to keep everything going. Plus, over time, you build up regular clients that you go, okay, I can rely on this money. But with that, I would often have a second job because I needed to ensure that my bills were paid and everything else was sort of going on. Did I always need that second job? No. Did I make sacrifices to keep that job so I could keep the lifestyle that I wanted and that I loved? Yes. And it was absolutely worth it. But this is something that you need to figure out if you are happy to make those sacrifices. There was a girlfriend that lived across the road and we were really good friends and we would spend a lot of time together. And she said, you've inspired me. I need to go out on my own and I need to do this and that. And she was a business analyst. I can't remember what it was she wanted to do. And she'd quit one job. And so instead of going straight into another, she was taking time. And she came back to me 3 months later and she said, I have to get another job. I said, okay. And I mean, what she did didn't have any effect on me at all. I was just her friend and supporting her in whatever she wanted to do. But she said to me one day when we were just hanging out, and she said, I don't know how you live the way you do. I couldn't do it. Now, I'm not saying that everybody needs to make those same sacrifices. What I'm saying is for her, the sacrifices weren't worth it to go after this thing that she thought she wanted. For her, it was better to be in the full-time job. So the sacrifice of being her own boss and living the life that she saw me living, that was worth it. That sacrificing that ideal was worth it for her. For me, it was worth sacrificing the security to go after the things that I enjoyed. Then in amongst this, you need to make sure that you're balancing all dimensions of your life. When we are chasing our life's purpose, when we're going after something that we desperately want, it's very easy to get caught up in, I have to go, and I have to get all this done now. And we get lost in that to the point and to the detriment of everything else that exists in our life. The people we love, our family and our friends and our social life, and maybe even our health. So make sure that in this time when you're figuring out what it is you're meant to be doing, when you're figuring out the sacrifices you may need to make or you are making to go after it, you have to also ensure that things are being balanced in other areas. Then we have that you're stepping into a brand new chapter. And with the astrology, this makes perfect sense. I love this imagery, and it's funny that this is happening right after we've had this circumnavigation of the moon recently. So it's all been about rockets and what's going on in outer space. But you are launching this whole new chapter. And again, if you look at the astrology of Uranus moving into Gemini, it makes perfect sense that everything is shifting. And this is why so many people are feeling unsettled at the moment. And then if you're sitting here watching this going, oh my God, I haven't made any changes. I haven't done this. And maybe there is something else that I need to be doing. There is still time to change the road that you're on. It's never too late. There's always a moment that you can stop and go, hang on. I don't want to be here. I want to be over here and I want to be doing this other thing. So just know that if that's how you're feeling, you can still make the change. I don't think ever there is a definitive you've missed out and you can never alter the course that you're on. I know sometimes that's how we feel, but it's not the case. There's always a way. There is always a solution. There is always, a little detour that we can take. So if you're questioning if you've missed the boat or you've missed your opportunity, the answer is no, you haven't, and you can keep going. So now we're looking at the Guiding Angels Oracle. So the first card is taking initiative. Waiting for things to happen will not work. Make your own way forward to put yourself in a position to win. So this is not a moment in time where the universe is just going to gift you what you need. You have those wings. Can you see on this card? The wings are protruding from her back. She is capable of flying, but she has to flap those wings in order to actually be able to take flight. So this is a moment where you need to decide what you're doing and you need to start taking action. We still have so many planets in Aries. Saturn and Neptune are going to be there for a long, long time. Saturn for what, 3 years, 2.5 years, 3 years. Neptune for, is it 19? It's a while. The sun has already moved out. I think Venus moved out. So a lot of that is sort of moving off, but we still have these planets moving direct. So make sure you take advantage of that energy. Then we have necessary sacrifice. This is all about sacrifice. You can't have new beginnings without letting something go. Create space, for change, and new things will find you. So again, we've got this imagery of this woman with wings. You are capable of taking flight. The thing is, you have to make space in your life for these new things to come in to play for you. So no matter which way you want to look at this, you're going to be asked to sacrifice something. Maybe it's security. Maybe it's letting go of certain people in your life that are holding you back because they like exactly where you are and they want you to stay in that position. Maybe it's letting go of a job that doesn't serve you because you need to move into a different role. It doesn't mean you have to work for yourself, but it's putting yourself out there and going after the thing that you know you'll wake up every morning and be excited about versus being stuck in a place of, oh, I have to go back to this place again. And then the final card from the Guiding Angels Oracle is be watchful. Be on alert and aware of your surroundings. There's a red flag that you are ignoring. Allow the truth to be revealed. So I think the universe is giving you signs and you need to pay attention to them. And the red flag may be staying stagnant exactly where you are. I think that the universe has been giving you signs for a while that it's time to move. And the question is, are you heeding the messages that you're being sent or are you not? Because the universe will often try and softly guide us into the position that we need to be in. And we see it and go, okay, yep. But we continue on in a place that is comfortable for us. And then there will be a moment where the universe says, screw this, you're not listening and you need to be moving in this direction or on this path. And they will rip everything out from under you. And that is when it is so horrifically shocking and we're left scratching our heads going, what on earth just happened? So pay attention to the signs that are there. Pay attention to the red flags if there is something there for you to be able to move forward in the direction that you need to. And then we are finishing with a card from Whispers of the Ocean. And we've got single-mindedness. Choose your own path and what is best suited to you. So this is where we do, we don't forget, we've got to balance all dimensions in our life, but this is a moment where we need to figure out what direction we're moving in and we need to go. We can't hesitate. We can't question. We can't be all airy-fairy and all over the place going, oh, should I go over here? Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do that. This is a moment to be decisive. This is a moment to focus on what the end goal is for you and to get moving. And you have to remember this month that this is about you taking initiative. This is about you taking the steps. This is about you paying attention to what the universe is telling you because they're guiding you. They're giving you the signals that you need to be able to move off in the right direction. So I think this is super exciting. Everything about this to me says this is a new adventure. This is a new chapter. This is something that is going to fill you up in a way that you haven't been for a long time. And I think that's a really wonderful thing. So are you brave enough to do it? Are you brave enough to make the sacrifices that need to be made for you to get exactly what you need? That's going to be the question that you need to answer this month. And now we're moving on to pile number 2, which was the Tibetan Tektite, if this is what you picked. I love this stone. It was a gift from a friend of mine, and every time I pick it up, I feel its magic. Okay, so we are starting with the Future Higher Self Oracle. We're just going to have a look at all 5 of the cards that were pulled from this deck. The healing must be completed before your life can transform. Own your time and give it meaning. Don't let it pass you by. Don't lose yourself trying to hold on to someone. Don't spend too much time in despair. Move through it. Move through the emotions and release it. Learn new things. It will help you in the future. So I've talked in all the readings that I've done today, I've talked about there being massive change going on in people's lives. And I think this is very much connected to Uranus ingressing into Gemini. Uranus, the planet of surprises and the unexpected, moving into the air sign of Gemini. And I'm excited about this new transit and this new 7-year cycle. But the reality is, whenever we have a outer planet moving into a new sign, it's always a little shocking, and it can always be confronting as we sort of settle into this new energy. So I think that you're waiting on transformation and you want things to shift, but there's healing that hasn't been completed. And I think in saying that, there's probably shadow work that needs to be done. And I know people often go, I've done shadow work. It never ends. What happens is we do it and we hit a point of growth and healing, and we sit with that, and it's great, and we feel the release, and it's wonderful. But after a certain period of time, the universe calls on us to do it again and dig deeper this time. Because when we first start doing shadow work, it's quite superficial. It's the obvious things that are sitting at the top. And then as we heal that and that starts to be released, we then have to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And the healing realistically never really stops. There's always room for growth. There's always room for improvement. But I think you're at a moment where you're probably waiting for the transformation to come, but you need to complete this healing first in order to get to that transformation. And the first thing I thought when this card came out, own your time and give it meaning, don't let it pass you by, is don't wish your life away. Don't go, I just want this to be done. I just want this to be done. You have to embrace every moment of time, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that comes along. I remember when I was younger, and I don't know what it was that I didn't want to do, but it was clearly something. And I was sitting there going, I just want to get to whatever the next great thing that was coming up for me was. And then my mother died really suddenly. And she was only 55 when she died. I think she was 55. She was young. And I remember sitting back and going, wow, this can all shift in a second. And my mum wasn't sick in a traditional sense. She didn't have cancer. We weren't watching her deteriorate. And her passing was sudden. And I remember thinking, I cannot let a moment pass me by. And from that moment on, I never sit there and go, I wish this was over. I wish this would end. I just sit in the moment, even if it's something that I don't particularly enjoy. And I go, this too shall pass. And I try and stay as present as I can. And I think that this is the reminder that the universe is giving you right now. Don't wish your life away, especially if you're working on the shadow work and doing the healing that you need to do. It can be uncomfortable. But the beauty of that discomfort is it leads to the most beautiful level of freedom that you haven't experienced previously. And that's where the transformation comes in. And maybe, so these next two cards make me wonder if part of the transformation is there is somebody that you have exiting your life and maybe you're trying to hang on to. So you've got don't lose yourself trying to hold on to someone, and then you've got don't spend too much time in despair, move through the emotions and release it. So it makes me wonder if there is somebody that is either exiting your life and you're hoping that they won't go, you're hoping that they'll stay, or possibly somebody that you know needs to exit and you're ignoring all of the signs that are coming up because it's more comfortable to keep them there, even if you know that your time together at this moment is over. And when somebody leaves your life, it doesn't necessarily mean it's forever. Sometimes it's for a period of time. Sometimes it's because the relationship that you have with that person needs to transform into something else. I am friends with one of the great loves of my life, and we are not together. We haven't been together in well over a decade, but I will always love him. I will always, always love him. And there was a period of time where we didn't speak because I needed to heal. Don't spend too much time in despair, move through the emotions and release it. I probably spent a little too much time in despair, let's be honest. But I needed that time to heal and to sort of get my life going in a direction that I wanted it to go in. And then eventually we came back into contact, and now we're friends and we support each other, and we always take each other's calls and we touch base and we talk about what's going on for each of us. And, you know, all this stuff is going on. And so had I tried to hold on to him, it would have destroyed both of us, because it was a toxic relationship. There was so much love, but it was still a toxic relationship. We are not meant to be together in this life. I am so grateful for the many wonderful memories, but we needed to let go of each other and move forward. And ultimately, that's what we did. And I am so grateful to have the relationship with him that I do now. And I'm positive he is grateful for me, because I know there are moments where he reaches out because he needs to confide in someone. And, you know, I'm happy to be there. I'm happy to be that support because I care for him. So if there is someone that you know you need to let go of, know that it's going to hurt. Know that you need to feel the emotions, and you can feel them. I'm not saying let go and just go, okay, well, I just have to pick myself up and move on. You don't have to do that, but you need to not get stuck in that place. You need to understand that this is moving forward for both of you to serve both of you. Just your time together has come to an end. And then we have, and the other thing is, this person doesn't necessarily be romantic. I was using that because that was the example that popped into my brain. This could be a friendship where you've moved off in different directions and it just, you know, you're in different life paths. And so the connection that was once there isn't there anymore. Doesn't mean they won't come back into your life at some point. And if it does, that's great. Honor the memories that you guys had together. If it's a family member, same thing. Sometimes it's just time to move on. And then we have learn new things. It will help you in the future. So if there's the opportunity to study something that's really interesting to you, or to do a course or something like that, say yes. Go on the adventure. Go and learn something. It may seem ridiculous, but it might serve you in the future. And maybe it's what leads to new people coming into your life. Going off and doing a dance class on my own was the greatest thing. And moving around the world and doing all these different things. I've gone into all of these different dance classes because when I travel, I go and specifically look for new studios to train at. And I have met some of the most wonderful people doing that. And some of these people are my dearest friends at this moment. So go and learn all the new things, go and do the course, go and do a class, go and do something that will feed your mind, your soul, and maybe bring new souls into your life. Now we're looking at the Guiding Angels Oracle. So the first one is vibe check. Low vibrational energies are affecting your ability to manifest your best life. Clear the negative energy that's attached to you. So yeah, whoever it is that's holding you back and telling you that you can't, or making you feel like you're not able to heal and move on, it's time to clear that energy out. I always say, like, I never look at these cards before we do these readings. Everything is face down when I do it. And at some point, I hope to be able to set up a camera so you can all see exactly what I'm doing. With that being said, it blows my mind how the cards come out, because I shuffle, I do a little meditation, I shuffle, and then the cards usually jump out, or there's a moment where I just feel an incredible tug of, you have to pull the card now. So it blows my mind that we've just talked about all of this, and the first card out is that. Then we have choose love. Strong reactions cause more harm than good. If speaking up feels like the right thing to do, then make sure it's done with love. And I think this is talking about love for yourself and love for the other person, because sometimes when we're setting somebody free, it's to serve us, it's to serve them. And there is a way to do these things and to move on from relationships without being awful to the other person, without it being a traumatic experience. You can just, sometimes it's as easy as sort of just stepping away and creating distance. Other times it's having a conversation, but being gentle enough and caring enough, with enough respect for the love that you have shared over the years, no matter what sort of love that is. And then we have take a risk. Overcome the fear of taking a risk, and your bravery will be met with a reward. Let your intuition guide the way. This is that moment to trust your gut, read the signs, and when it's time to leap, you'll know. And it's about taking that leap and trusting that the universe will catch you, because it will. It always does. And if something that you try fails, it's because you needed that lesson. And then you either try again, or you know that the path you were on wasn't for you and you need to move off in a different direction. And if that happens, sometimes we need that redirection. Sometimes the loss is giving us the information that we need in order to be successful the next time we try something. So keep that in mind, but always take the leap. The universe will always catch you. In our minds, we always think about the worst case scenarios, and we come up with the most horrible situations, and we're like, oh, I could never survive that. 99.9% of the time, the worst case scenario never happens. And when you're really tapping into your intuition, it will not lead you astray. It will always lead you in the right direction. And then the final card, which we have from the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle cards, is surrounded by prosperity. Your attention is being drawn to the infinite nature of reality. That which exists outside the known is beyond measure. So this is a moment of, again, trusting the universe and knowing that you are going to be successful and prosperous in the direction that you are moving. And it's just time for you to know that. I think this is a month where you're being faced with a number of things, but I think it's all for your highest good. I think it's all for your ultimate growth. And I think that when we're clearing things out, including people, it leaves room for wonderful, wonderful things that are going to be so much better for us to come in. I hope this reading resonated with you and that you got something out of it. I do think this is a great month. Ultimately, I just think there are some hurdles that we have to navigate before we get to the really joyous part. But when you look back, all of it is going to make sense. And now we are moving on to pile number 3, which is our clear quartz. Okay, so I think an extra card jumped out. Yeah, it looks like we've got 6 instead of 5 from the Future Higher Self Oracle. So let's have a look at those. Lessons in life will repeat until they are learned. You are currently under construction. Please be patient. Don't let people suck the air out of your spirit. Uproot your life and leave all that is familiar to you. The wheel will turn in your favor. Keep going. Don't soothe your pain with momentary pleasure or pleasures. Okay, so clearly we are stuck in a cycle right now, and this is what we need to get out of. And we do stay in these cycles until we finally learn our lesson. So you need to be very honest when you're reflecting and looking at all of this and everything that's going on in your life. And you need to be honest about the part you play in it. I will never forget, I was in Hawaii one time. It was in 2015, and it was my last day. I checked out of the hotel. I had an appointment at the spa an hour before it closed so I could just shower and get myself together before I had to get on a plane that evening. And I started talking with somebody, and he said to me, "What's your pattern in relationships?" And I said, "I don't have a pattern." Because if you know how there are people and they all have a type, like they all like blondes, or you were to line their exes up and you go, that looks like the same person, just like different versions of the same person. And so I was thinking about it from a physical point of view. And I said, I don't have a type, because if you lined up my exes and said, what do these men have in common? You would not guess that it was somebody that they were in a relationship with. And so I sat there and I said, I don't have a pattern. And then it dawned on me, and I said, I pick unavailable men. And they were like, oh, you do? And I said, yes. And so we had a very big discussion about both our patterns and everything that was going on. And I did fly out of Hawaii that night, and he continued to pursue me. We spoke 8 hours every day for the next couple of weeks. But 2 days after I'd left, he messaged me and said, would it be crazy if I came to Australia? I said, no, like I feel like this isn't done. He was more unavailable than any other man I'd ever met. And so the pattern continued. And after I'd had that realization, I started seeing the pattern playing out. And so then the universe presented me with a couple of other people to date that were as unavailable as all these other people. And some of them were exactly the same person, just wrapped up in a different wrapper. And once I started recognizing those patterns, those men were always offended when I'd say, no, thank you. Like, I actually don't want to do this. This isn't right for me. And it's nothing against them. They're just being who they are. But I started recognizing the pattern. And after I recognized the pattern, I stopped getting caught up in relationships with those people. I was single for a long time after that, which is fine. But now I'm with someone who is so available. And it was only through recognizing the pattern that I was able to break it. So whatever pattern is playing out in your life, and it doesn't need to be in a relationship. It could be a pattern it could be with friendships. It could be a lifestyle pattern. Maybe there's a way that you're eating or taking care of yourself that isn't helping you. But this is what it is you need to figure out and what's not serving you. It could be a pattern with your job. I don't know why that's coming up, but it could be something that you're doing, whether it be that you're giving them too much and things that you're not being paid for, and you're going above and beyond and doing somebody else's work. But whatever it is, you need to have a look at that. You're currently under construction. Please be patient. As you're figuring this out, you cannot be too hard on yourself. I saw what was going on in my life, and I was like, okay. And then I kept getting sucked in, and I was getting so mad at myself. How am I doing this again and again and again? It took a minute. It took a minute to figure it out and go, okay, this is what it is. And it took another minute to go, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. And then I had to look at, why am I attracting these people, and how am I going to change that? And that came back to me and the choices that I was making and what I'm doing. So just make sure that as you're figuring this out, you are being patient with yourself, because if you're not, you're never going to get there. And as you're figuring stuff out, people will try and suck the air out of you. They will tell you that you're wrong. They'll tell you that they'll gaslight you. They'll do all the things as you're making these shifts. And the reason they'll do that is because the new version of you and the version of you that has these new boundaries will irritate them because it doesn't serve them. That's not where they want you to be. So just while you're under construction, while you're figuring all of this out, just be aware of this. And if you feel this happening or see this happening, reinforce your boundaries and be very clear. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. And this is what's acceptable for me. And this is how it's all going to move forward. Uproot your life and leave all that is familiar to you. Now, this may be a literal thing where maybe it's time to move across country. Maybe it's time to even just move cities. Maybe it's time to move across the world. Maybe the uproot your life and leave everything that is familiar to you is in relation to work. So this can be a thing on as big a scale or a smaller scale as is necessary for you. But I think that there are shifts that are coming for you and maybe the entire shift won't be complete this month, but it's at least starting. So you need to be aware of this and be open to things shifting. And I think this is super exciting. It can be super scary, but to me, this is the most exciting thing because it means there's new adventures. It means there's leveling up in a way that we don't always get the opportunity to experience. So I think this is super exciting. While all of this is going on, you're going to be scared, like, oh my God, if I leave what's familiar to me, am I going to be able to do this? You have to remember that the universe wants you to win, and the universe will fight for you to win. So keep that in mind as you're making these decisions and as you're moving into these new realms. While it's being scary, while you're trying to break these patterns of behavior and everything that you're doing, it's going to be really tempting to do things that will bring you this momentary pleasure or that hit of dopamine. And that could be shopping and going out and spending money that you don't have or shouldn't be wasting. It could be going back to a situation or situationship that doesn't serve you, but it's because it's feeding that dopamine. It's giving you that hit. So yeah, just keep that in mind and make sure that you are taking care of yourself in a way that is going to serve you long term, not something that's going to give you that hit and then you're going to be left spiraling after that dopamine hit wears off. Okay, so from the Guiding Angels Oracle, we have spiritual warfare. Remember that you have all you need and stand strong in this life and have victory over the battlefields of your mind, heart, and soul. So I think that there is this inner turmoil, you know, the angel and the devil sort of telling you which direction to move in. And there may be this internal battle because the devil will tell you to, you know, indulge in these momentary pleasures. Yeah, go do it. It'll feel so good. It's just for now. It's fine. And then the angel part of you that wants you to succeed and long term be in a really good place is going to say, no, we have to hold these boundaries. I know people are upset with you and maybe pushing back, but you're doing the right thing. This is for you. This is for your growth. This is for your betterment. So just know that this internal battle and struggle may be going on, but this is a moment where you need to do what's right for you. It's not about everybody else. Then we have love is in the air. Let falling in love teach you divine lessons. It's worth working on. But honest conversations will be key to overcoming differences. So this is a time where you need to be honest, and this could be a thing within your own relationship, and maybe there are honest conversations that need to happen so that you're getting your needs met, not just their needs being met. Maybe it's a new relationship that's coming in and having that conversation about what you need what your patterns are, and being able to sort of recognize your part in all of this and the thing that you're doing. Because when we're stuck in this pattern, there's a reason we're doing it. Clearly for me, I wasn't ready to be in a fully committed relationship, because otherwise I wouldn't have kept picking these people that didn't 100% pick me or weren't completely available to me. And I've since done enough work on myself that, yeah, I'm ready for this. I deserve to be loved completely and wholly and for exactly who I am. So, and I just keep hearing that this love can be in friendships as well. I adore all of my friends. I would walk through the pits of hell for my great girlfriends. So there is love there. So maybe there are conversations that need to be had with your friends about what direction you want to move in and what you need from them. So just keep that in mind. And then we have look up. What you perceive to be over is merely a catalyst for change. What was will return in a different form. So everything always comes back, but it comes back in a form that will serve you in a much, much, much better way. So if it's a relationship that's ending, it means that another one will come in and take its place, whether that be friendship, whether that be a family figure, whether that be a romantic relationship. If it's a job that you need to sort of step away from and shift, something else will come in. If it's home that you're shifting, there will be a new home that is so peaceful and nurturing and filled with everything that you need that comes in. But you have to go through that uncertainty, and you have to let go of things that aren't serving you to make room for what will come in order to serve you in the best way possible. And then the final card from the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle is clearing the excess. You are entering a transitional phase and would benefit from clearing away excess clutter, whether it is your physical body or your physical space. So yeah, this is a month for cleaning things out and clearing space. And the interesting thing is, moving is a bitch of a thing to do, right? But if we think about moving literally, to pack up boxes and to have to go through every single possession that we have, it's always, for me anyway, a freeing experience, because we get to clear out all of the stuff that doesn't serve us. We go through cupboards and go, why do I still have this? What even is this? Why would I have hung on to this? And we clear all of that out. We find things that we go, okay, this isn't junk, but I don't need this anymore. I'm not going to use it, so I'll sell it, or I'll donate it, and I'll do all of this stuff. Clearing all of that out, just that physical excess, frees us up. If our mind is in a mess and we're tormenting ourselves, clearing that and allowing our mind to be still allows us to move forward in a really good and healthy way. So however you can clear things out this month is exactly what you need to be doing. I think that, where this transition phase can be uncomfortable and it can be confronting, but ultimately I think it serves us and our higher good. And so it's just a moment of sort of moving through stuff, not getting stuck, not staying somewhere that we know doesn't serve us, and allowing ourselves to really move forward and get onto a path that is going to help us grow and thrive in this life in a way that we've only dreamed of. I hope that these readings resonated with some of you or all of you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. As I always say, not every reading is for every person. I hope that you all have a wonderful May. I know that this energy is going to take a moment to settle as Uranus sort of settles into Gemini in this new energy. But change is good, and let's embrace it and have an awesome May. I will be back on Monday I'm planning on posting the weekly Oracle Wisdom every Monday at 3 p.m. So keep your eyes open for that. And I will, of course, be back here for next month's monthly Oracle Wisdom. Have a wonderful May, everyone.